Whether you're looking for answers to specific life questions or seeking to become the best version of you possible, welcome to the Mental Breakdown and Psychreg podcast, where we offer insight, information, and strategies based upon research and years of practice as clinical psychologists. So sit back, have a listen, and get connected with our hosts, Dr. Berney Wilkinson and Dr. Richard Marshall. Welcome back. So we decided not to do a movie for this podcast,
but
we're going to talk about parenting styles that could potentially contribute to childhood anxiety.
Wow.
How about that?
That was quick.
Yeah, right to
I
it.
thought you were going to talk about something. I thought we were going to say, but we'll talk about that this weekend, but you have a soccer tournament this weekend. I thought we were going to have some chat about that.
Oh, well.
But you launched right into this one.
Look, man.
So you're talking about parents?
I do have a soccer tournament this weekend.
First thing I like about this one?
Number one.
These are terms I hadn't heard before. I've heard helicopter parents.
Okay, yes.
But he also talks about snowplow parenting and bubble wrap parenting.
So you wouldn't hear about slow plow.
It's hard to say.
Snowplow parenting here in Florida.
Well, that's what but it's a good metaphor.
Yeah.
Metaphor?
I don't know.
But you've heard of bubble wrap parenting.
Yes.
Okay. So these are three types of parenting styles where we try to micromanage our children's success. Okay. And their safety.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Helicopter parenting, most of us know about. We're hovering around. Snowplow parenting is that the parents get in front of the child and push all the obstacles that could stand in the child's way. They push all those obstacles out of the way, so the child has clear sailing with no obstacles and no challenges. And then bubble wrap parenting is we try to wrap the child in bubble wrap to protect them, to make sure they're safe.
Yeah.
All three of these, he says, and he is...
Dr. Graham Davey from the University of Sussex.
Sussex. Do they have a football team?
I think so.
You don't know?
No. I don't know about their universities. I don't know if they're universities.
Well, but it's a city, too, or an area. Sussex is a city.
Yeah.
The Earl of Sussex. It's a
Who's
area. You know Earl. He's been here a number of times. No, the Earl of Sussex.
Okay.
Listen, you're involved in England with your soccer.
I watch soccer. I mean, I wouldn't say involved.
No.
I mean,
Bernie, your office is dark blue.
royal blue?
Your office is royal blue.
Not
I
dark
see.
blue.
That was an offense for me to say dark blue, wasn't it?
We need to hurry up with this podcast.
See,
you're going to need some bubble wrap.
Okay, so we have these three parenting styles who are going to protect the children. Okay, the first is helicopter, second is snowplow, third is bubble wrap. And this, Dr. Davey, his argument is that each of these conveys anxiety to children.
Right.
Okay, that these parenting styles, though they're intended to protect children and to ease their development, actually produce anxiety in children.
Right. I mean, if you think about it, when a parent does everything that a parent needs to do, or feels that they need to do to protect the child, the message that the child is getting is that the world is not safe.
Right. If you're hovering around your kids, making it safe for them, you're saying to them, you live in an unsafe world.
Right.
I have to be here to protect you.
Right.
That's the message that you're giving them.
Right.
If you're a helicopter parent, you're sending them that message.
There are times, just to use an example, there are times when you need to step on a nail to know that when you're walking across wood, you need to look where you're walking.
Right.
I mean, you need to have that experience.
That's right.
And then you go get a tetanus shot and all that good stuff.
And you say, I'm never going to do that again.
Right.
But if you've never had that experience, you never have, I'm never going to do that again.
I remember I don't talk about my dad very much on the podcast. But I remember one time he was getting at or talking about one of my cousins because they there was a garden rake, those rakes with the stiff and there was one laying on the ground that the person my cousin put down, and they were sticking up.
Sure.
And he was talking about it. He's like, hey, that's just ridiculous. How could he do that? And that's my dad. And I remember thinking, you just have to have that experience one time, where you step on it and either it goes through your shoe and it hurts,
Right.
or you step on it and it pops up and hits you right in the face.
Hits you right in the forehead.
Once you have that experience,
you're cautious about rakes.
Yes.
You
make sure that it's set.
That's right.
So you have to have those experiences sometimes.
Right. And parents who insist on removing all those obstacles. I mean, imagine growing up in a world where your parent took care of all those things for you, that you would never have those experiences. But so you've kept them safe, you've kept them injury-free, but at the same time, you've conveyed this message that A, they live in a dangerous world, and B, they need your protection.
Right.
All the time.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. So it really contributes to the possibility of anxiety, because whenever there's an unknown, they are going to look for somebody to pave the way, clear the snow out of the way, to make sure that everything's going to be okay.
And how do I even approach this stuff?
Right.
Because I've never done this on my own. The other thing about the bubble wrap parent and keeping the child constantly safe is that you can't do this yourself.
Right.
Either the world is so dangerous or you're so incompetent that you can't handle this world on your own.
Right.
And so you need me to protect you. And so again, the child develops this fear of doing anything because they have internalized that they need somebody else to protect them, or to guide them, or to take care of things before they get there.
Absolutely. Now, I think that the other side of this, of course, is that, while there are those who develop anxiety, like what we're talking about, that fear, that avoidance, there's another, if we're talking about anxiety, generally speaking, in the forms of stressors and, discomfort and things like that, is the idea that if you are accustomed to someone paving the way for you all along the path, and making sure that you have no obstacles and that everything works out well for you, when you encounter reality, that's going to be distressing.
It's going to be scary as ever.
Because you are not going to be able to handle those kinds of typical life stresses, because you've never had any experience having to do so.
I can remember one time we were traveling, we were flying somewhere, and we were looking at when flights are arriving and everything, and I can remember teaching my kids, wait a minute, just sit here for a minute. See this board? And you teach them how to handle it so that if they're in that situation again, well, if you always do everything, if you're making all the decisions, you have robbed your children of gaining the confidence they need to do it themselves.
Right.
You have, what's that concept of, sometimes it's called free range parenting, where you just let your kids go. And there was that article a few years ago where people got in trouble with DCF because their kids were walking alone to school when they were very, very young. And the parents said, no, they have to learn this. And that playground, the dangerous playground in
I like
Berkeley,
that. I still like that idea.
Right. They create these purposely dangerous playgrounds so the kids learn how to handle themselves.
Yeah, hammers and nails and fire. And
there's nails sticking up out of boards. And
that's what I'm saying.
But you learn. You learn, you gain confidence. Otherwise, you're always anxious about why. If my parents can't leave me alone, if my parents can't leave me with a babysitter, this must be a really scary world.
Right.
And you don't, kids who are afraid of lightning. You're not born afraid of lightning. You've watched somebody be afraid of it.
Right.
Right. Shouldn't do that to your kids.
Yeah, there are things that we have some innate fears of. Yeah. But,
spiders and snakes.
Like spiders and snakes. Well, I don't know why spiders.
Sorry.
Snakes. But because snakes are unusual. They move without legs. How does that happen?
Well, they used to have legs.
He was talking about that the other day.
No, I was thinking about that. Think of a dinosaur. Triceratops.
Okay.
Little tiny legs in the front, big old legs in the back. Those 4 legs have disappeared. The front legs, because
that's a fat snake.
Well, the front legs have disappeared, but if you run your hand along the side of a snake, you can feel the vestige of a leg.
Yeah. All right.
That was that big old hind leg. They don't need it anymore.
Yeah.
We're not going to need our little toes too. They're disappearing, but not in our lifetime. But they're disappearing. We'll have 4 toes someday.
Let me cut.
Mark that.
Oh.
Doesn't do anything. We don't need it.
Oh.
We don't need that last toe, that little toe.
We could start a new artwork of
4 toes.
Yeah. So why are we talking about 4 toes?
I'm talking about snakes.
Why are we talking about snakes?
Legs. Legs are disappearing.
Why are we talking about that? Innate fears.
Innate fears.
That's right.
Spiders
Walking
and
our
snakes.
way back. I still don't understand spiders. But
They were one of our enemies when we were in the trees and on the savannah. They could come up and get us, and we didn't know. They were silent killers.
You know who used spiders as a very common villain?
Spider-Man.
J.R.R. Tolkien, your favorite author.
No.
And so did J.K. Rowling.
J.K. Rowling.
Yeah, she does too. So, wow.
Rowling or Rowling?
I thought it was Rowling.
Figure that one out too.
I don't know, yeah. But
she had both. See, spiders and snakes.
She did.
Okay, she knows. She knows a lot of stuff.
Yeah. Well,
she knows they are.
The fear of snakes is biblical, right? From Genesis. I mean, that's why the devil was portrayed as a snake, because of that innate fear.
Sure. Yeah, so, probably.
Mm-hmm. I don't remember any spiders in the Bible, though.
Frogs.
It's probably the plague.
My daughters are.
Your daughters would be really afraid of that.
Yeah, they'd leave Egypt if they saw
That's
frogs.
Right.
They'd be the first
okay,
one.
we're gone.
They'd be the
we're
first
done.
ones out.
We're done. So,
they wouldn't have to wait for Moses. They would be out before.
Mm-hmm. We'll meet you out there.
We'll see you there in the desert.
So, but
man, we can ramble.
Yeah, we can.
But it's called divergent thinking.
It's tangentiality. But the idea again is that we have to experience some of these fears, and you have to realize that. I mean, if we brought all of those tangents into play, the reality is that when you understand and can recognize snakes, you know which ones are dangerous and which ones are not, right. And so then the fear can be managed. Same thing with spiders. If
right.
there's a fear there, once you recognize, look for the red hourglass.
Right.
Stay away from that one.
That's right. Learn how to deal with it.
Right.
But you have to control the.
You have to experience
fear and anxiety is one of those emotions that we talked about earlier in the week. Right. That you have to get under control. Well, if you have debilitating fear and anxiety, you're never going to come to terms with it.
Right.
You're not going to learn how to get onto an airplane and how to manage your fears if you have this debilitating anxiety. And when parents hover over their children this way, they risk creating that kind of anxiety, that inbred, hard to get at anxiety, right. Because it's there from a very early age, and it's very hard to take care of later.
Yeah, yeah. So, all right, and that all comes from our parenting, so we just be cautious of that. So, all right.
Don't hover too closely,
and don't be a snowplow.
That's right.
I said it.
Leave some obstacles for them to overcome. They need to gain it. Leave the house once in a while. They'll gain confidence knowing that you come back. You leave and you come back. You leave and you come back. You're going to be back. You're going to come back.
Not when they're 3, though. Don't do that when they're 3.
Why
Wait
not?
until they're a little bit older. Leave them some snowballs.
No.
That'd be great.
Hire some babysitters.
I thought you meant alone.
No.
That's why I said not when they're 3. And then you were like, why? And I was like, I think he's joking, but I'm not going to say anything.
No, you leave them with a babysitter.
Yeah, with a babysitter, but that's not alone.
Or a dog.
Oh, yeah. Nanny.
Mm-hmm.
From Nana from
Peter Pan.
Got it. I told you. I'm working. I'm trying.
It's working.
Yay!
Okay.
Okay, that's it. So, all right, until next time, stay happy, stay healthy, and forget to be afraid.